Quick question. How many of you guys invested in stocks before? I'm guessing maybe a few of you guys. Hey, we're a Forex channel and I completely get it. But it's time to start diversifying and looking at some other things. A lot of us work a 9 to 5 and that's completely fine. But with inflation and so many things, we have to start diversifying and understanding investing in other things such as real estate, stocks, Forex, and so on and so forth. So I'm here to introduce the stock market to those who trade Forex and make it as simple as possible, because we don't understand how to calculate how much money we make when it goes up a certain amount of pips. We do with Forex, but not with stocks. We need to understand what a quarterly earnings report, what a cash flow report is. So we have to start educating ourselves, because now is the time to start investing, to start diversifying your income, stop trading our time for money and let our money start making money for us. All right, guys, so the first stock we're going to look at is the Tesla stock. All right, I put in a trade for you guys so you can take a look at how to actually profit with a stock market. Now, you guys are familiar with profiting from the Forex market. All you do is calculate the amount of pips you have versus your lot size, and then wham, you have your total profit. But this is completely different. So let's go ahead and dive into it really quick here. So I'm in the Tesla stock. As I mentioned here, I'm on the 4-hour chart. But the important thing that I want you guys to look at is that I'm up $193.80. Now, how do I determine that price? Well, in order to determine that, we need to see when I entered it. I entered the stock at $216.53. So in layman's terms, all that means is that at that time, Tesla was worth $216.53 per share. So if you wanted to buy one share at that time, it was $216.53. Now, it doesn't mean that that's all you need in your account. Like I said in the last video, I tell you how much money you need to invest in the stock market. So I suggest you to look at that at the end of this video. I'll make sure to include it at the end of this video as well. All right, so I'm up $190.60. I entered originally at $216.53. Now it's worth $226 and some change per share. So how do I calculate that? Well, let's go ahead and look in the corner right here. And so we can see here, it tells us everything we need to know about this stock, okay? I'm in the NASDAQ market, right? I'm trading Tesla. TSLA is the ticker symbol for Tesla. I'm long simply means that I'm buying. Short means that I'm selling. The quantity means that how many shares that I invested in this stock. So I invested 20 shares at $216.53. All right, so that tells you, so if you were to multiply $216 times 20, that tells you how much I had invested in it at that particular time. Now it says last price. That simply means that the current price is at $226 and it continues to fluctuate. Now my profit is at $187.40. Now, how do you calculate that to get $188.40? It's really simple. All you do is take the amount of shares that I purchased, which is 20 shares, at $216.53. So what is the difference between $216.53 to $225.91? The difference is about $9. So does that mean that I get $9? Absolutely not, because I invested 20 shares. Okay, I bought 20 shares. So if I multiply 20 times the $9 that is currently up, you would get roughly 190 plus, give or take, because the market is moving. So that's how you actually calculate stocks. Really, really simple. The same thing with Apple. So if I were to go to the Apple screen here, all right, I see that Apple is currently trading at 157.21. So if I bought one share, I would only spend $157.23 as it continues to fluctuate. If I want to buy 30 shares, I need to multiply 30 times 157 and some change, and that's how much I'll be spending with Apple. And as it moves up, and if you went long, you would profit. If it drops below that, then you would go negative. All right. So most of you know that with the Forex market, you adjust your lot size. You may trade 10 cents a pip or $1 or $2 or $3 a pip, depending on your leverage, right? And if you're unfamiliar with leverage, we have a video about leverage. I'm going to post it right here, right now, so that you can understand it, because leverage is really difficult to talk about, because a lot of people really don't know how to explain it, because it can be difficult. So be sure to check that out as well. Depending on your leverage and then the amount of pips that you actually accumulate, and then when you multiply that, then that will give you the profit. Now, what stocks should you invest in? That's very simple. Have you guys heard of the quarterly earnings report? A lot of people have heard about that because stocks are really popular, more popular than the Forex market. Let's go ahead and look at the quarterly earnings report. Let's say for Tesla, how to read it, how to find it, because it's completely public. So in order to find quarterly earnings report, we're going to go to sec.gov, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Okay. So a company's quarterly earnings are held 4 times a year. And that's why you may hear Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. That simply means quarter 1, quarter 2, and so on and so forth. And it's held in a 3 months interval cycle. So each company can fall on a different month. Let's say Tesla quarterly earning report starts in January, and then you will skip 3 months, February, March, April, and then the next quarterly report will come out in April, and so on and so forth. And it repeats itself. The purpose of these reports is so that they're transparent with the shareholder because they're part of the business. So imagine you are a business owner when you buy shares from Tesla. And so you have to be familiar with this. Just like if you are a business owner, you have to be familiar with the profits. You have to be familiar with the scorecards and the earnings and so on and so forth. So I suggest that you guys familiarize yourself with these things, such as the balance sheets and the cash flow statements, because you're now a business owner. All right, so we're at the SEC's EDGAR database, and EDGAR simply means Electronic Data Gathering Analysis Retrieval System. I know it's a tongue twister, but that's the name that they came up with. So what you will start off with is go to Company Filing Search here. Now, before we get into it, you can actually find most of these quarterly earning reports on the website of these companies. All right. So a lot of times you'll find it there. And if you go to investor relations, then you can go ahead and find it. And it's completely public because you're an investor and they need to build transparency with their investors. We're going to look at Tesla. You can put in Tesla's name. You can put in their ticker symbol or the CIK number. For educational purpose, I'll go ahead and just type in Tesla. And then you can see here, Tesla, that's the name of the company. TSLA is their ticker symbol. And then CIK is the number. You can pull it up as well if you have that number. So you'll just go ahead and click on it, and then it's going to pull up their quarterly earnings report. All right. So we have the 10K, we have the 8K. So the 8K is simply the current reports as of this month or so. The 10K is the annual report, so you can see everything within the year. And then the 10Q is the quarterly reports, okay? So we're gonna click that. And for now, we're gonna look at the 10Q, the quarterly report. So let's go ahead and click that. And then, bam, here it is right here. So we have Tesla Inc., and you have everything that you need to know from how much they made for that quarter, what they anticipate making. There's a ton of information as an investor you should know. Now, most of you cannot read all of this or possibly even understand it, right? And that's completely fine. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that you need to actually look for in this 10Q so that you can kind of understand where the company is going. All right, so the 10Q consists of the cash flow statement, the income statement, the balance sheets. This is all important for you to know. You are now a business owner as you invest in the company. So when you buy shares for a company, you are a business owner. So familiarize yourself with these things because this is something that you should know. This is something that the CEO and the CFO would put out there for you to know as a business owner. So if you own your own business, you as a business owner should have an income statement. You should have a balance sheet. You should understand what a scorecard is, a SWOT analysis, and things like that. And it can sound boring. Hey, that's what it takes to be a business owner. All right. So the very first thing you will see here is the balance sheet. All right, so this is the consolidated balance sheet. On the left, you'll see the assets, the current assets, the cash and cash equivalents, which is really, really important for what you to know. Now, one thing I want you to understand here, if you look right here, it says in the millions, okay? So their cash and cash equivalents here at 532. So if you looked at the last 3 digits, 532, that's 532 million. All right, if you add in the front the 19, that's 19 billion 532 million. So that's their cash and cash equivalents here as of September 30th, 2022. And then you can see where it was in December 31st, 2021. And you can see that this number is currently rising. So Tesla is doing pretty good from last year, right? So these are some things you need to look at. Short-term marketing securities. Remember, it's in the millions, so 575 million. If you add a 1, that's 1,575 million, okay? As of from last year, it has increased. Another important thing here is the liabilities, current liabilities. So we have their accounts payables, accrued liabilities and others, deferred revenue, customer deposits, current portions of debt, and finance leases. So let me stop right there. A lot of times, what investors would do is look at the number here and say, Apple is trading at $156 per share. Okay. I'm going to buy now because it was actually lower than it was, let's say, here in August 2022, when it was a lot higher at $174.84 a share. So I think price is going to go up. Now that's called price action trading, and that is completely fine. But another thing that you should look at that I think is really important to look at here is the quarterly earnings report. Because if their current liabilities outweigh what they're making, that could be bad for the business. This is something that you should know as an investor. It can be bad for the business because let's say if something really happens with their company or the CEO, or you never know, or a huge loss, class action lawsuit, if they have a lot of current liabilities, if their liabilities are really poor and they don't have enough money in the bank, that's where it comes down to. How are they going to pay this? They're going to have to take out loans. That will drop the stock. These are things that you need to look for. Another thing that you need to look for is fundamental analysis, simply meaning understanding news, understanding what the CEO is doing, how he's playing his role in the world, and how it can affect this particular stock. Okay, so let's go ahead and look back at this chart here. Let's go back to Tesla here. And we can see it's currently at 193.80 because price is continuing to grow overall. All right. So price action trading, some of you know that, but we teach this in Forex, is simply looking at the past, seeing where price went prior and how it did. Okay. That's just one aspect of price action trading. So you can see this rectangle line that I put here where price at one point in May 2022 came at the support level, it shot up, came back down, it shot up, and it seems as though this particular area right here is important to investors, important to the company. So this here, they typically don't let it fall past it. So I invested right at this support level right here, and that's where I pretty much got in. I think I got in a little bit late, and it shot up, and it's currently at this level right here. So I actually got in just above this level, seeing it rise. So this is where I actually got in right here at 20 shares. And then you can see that price is currently where this white symbol is, where it says 226.26. Okay. So you can use complete price action, which is completely fine. I'm on the 4-hour chart. We have particular strategies that we use for Forex that will definitely work with this. But instead of only looking at news, you also want to understand the quarterly earnings report. Okay. So get really familiar with this stockholders' equity right here. Okay. Preferred stock. So you want to look at the cash flow statement. One thing that I like to do is just go ahead and hit my search box and then hit cash or cash flow, and then it will take you right there. So here's the cash flow statement. First thing here, it says cash flows from operating activities. All right. And so you want to, the whole point of looking at this is so that you can identify how much money Tesla has in a bank, what are the needs of people buying Tesla cars and their products, how is it doing overall, what are their liabilities, and what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, a SWOT analysis. The S means strengths, the W means weaknesses, the O means opportunities, T's mean threat. And so you need to understand these particular things with companies. And you don't really need a business degree to understand these things. You know, a lot of people go to school for this, but you can find a lot of these things online now on YouTube. As long as you're finding the right thing and the right sources, you can find a lot of these things. All right. So these are just the basics of a quarterly earnings report. I want you guys to kind of look through it first. And like I said, let's go back to it. If there's another stock that you're interested in, you want to go to sec.gov. Okay. And then you want to go ahead to filings, company filing search, and then put in the company you want. Let's go ahead and put Apple, AAPL. That's their ticker symbol, or you can just type in Apple if you don't know what it is. You click it. In a few seconds, you will go ahead and it will pull this up. You will click the second tab, which is the 10K, which is the annual report, and the 10Q, which is the quarterly reports. You want to look at the quarterly report. Now, the 10K consists of more information because it's all of the quarters combined. All right, so I like to look at the 10Q. Wham, you have it right here. The very first thing you'll see, there's even a table of contents so you can find what's going on. The very first thing you'll see is the condensed consolidated statement of operations. You have all of your numbers here from in regards to their products, their services. Now, remember, in the millions is really important because if you're brand new and you see that back in June 25th, 2022, Their services only made $245,000. You're like, wow, is a company as big as that nationwide only made 245,000? No, this is in the millions. So it's actually 245 billion. $241 million that their products have made. All right, guys, so that concludes this video. I can go a lot deeper into this, guys, but this video will be a lot longer. If you're interested in more videos like this, let me know. I'll make a more detailed video about stocks. I want you guys to learn this. This is something that they do not teach us in school. This is something that you do not learn because a lot of people have been out of the stock market because the amount of money that you had to invest. Just like the Forex market, just a few years ago, over 10 years ago, a lot of us wasn't invited into the Forex market. You needed at least a minimum of $100,000 just to trade the market. But because of technology, because they want more people in and some other things, that's why we're able to trade easier. So I want you guys to take advantage of information like this because a lot of us haven't been invited in the stock market and other markets until just recently. So if you enjoyed the information in this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you're still interested in Forex trading, you know how to find us. We have an academy for a lifetime membership. It's in the description below. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, don't forget to check out my first 2 stock videos introducing the stock market to Forex traders so that you know how to attack this particular market and enter this particular market with confidence. You guys, I always enjoy being on here with you guys. Don't forget to comment, and I will see you in the next video. Have a blessed day.